know, by far, a car that's a little bit tight, you can work the throttle and make the car turn. If a car is loose, it's unpredictable. You go in the corner one time and it gets in there nice, the next time you go in, the back end comes around. It's hard to be aggressive with a loose car. Much more easier to drive a tight car.
.142 laps to go in Phoenix, and who've you got to beat? Jimmie Johnson.
It's going to take brains and brawn to finish up front.
We've been green for the last 39 laps. There's 135 to go in the Subway Fresh Fit 600 kilometers at Phoenix International Raceway. Jimmie Johnson leading Juan Montoya by 1 second. Montoya is about 1/10 a second quicker on the racetrack right now. Sun has dipped behind the Estrella Mountains. The lights are up, and the duel in the desert has 134 laps to go.
Larry, those old crew chiefs down there, they're scrambling right now, looking at all those notes, looking at all those trends, and we're getting into that no man's land here before long, those final 65 laps that we haven't had here before. That's going to make it an interesting finish.
Well, we're down to what would be a two-stop race should we stay green.
Riding with Martin Truex, Sam Hornish has slipped back to about 12th place here, where he now battles Jamie Mack. And McMurray may get the spot here, going off into the corner with a much lower arc than Hornish. Truex, Allmendinger looking on. Whoa, Jamie.
Tight little battle right here. These guys have been going at it for quite some time. Somebody's going to run out of patience here for long.
Yeah, all of those cars are lead lap cars.
The 43 has been trying to get by this group. He caught them, but he hadn't been able to clear them.
It's been 53 laps since these cars were last on pit road.
Yeah, we're at lap 244, so we're probably looking at about 15 to 20 laps before we'll get into green flag stops.
Looked like AJ did the 43 clear at that time. He'll go off and lead these guys now. He's been really, really nice to Sam Hornish. He didn't lean on him, and he could have.
Behind them, it's been a frustrating night for Tony Stewart, who started 11th and now finds himself, Steve, in 18th.
Mike, he started off loose, then he got tight. Just recently, he told Darian Grubb, I don't know what to do different. I've tried every line out here, adjusted brakes in and out, front to back. If you have any suggestions, just chime right in.
And you know, some of the racetracks that Tony normally runs so good at, that's where they've bobbled this year. Go back to Martinsville a couple of weeks ago, finished 26. I don't even think he could hardly run in the top 20 on during that 500 laps, and here he is just struggling here at Phoenix tonight, a track that's been normally good to him.
One thing I've noticed, Larry, is they just start making a lot of changes as soon as the race starts. He starts complaining about the car, and they start changing. I think they get themselves out to lunch sometime.
Close call for Carl Edwards there, up against the 34 there. Oh my gosh. Travis Kvapil. Carl had to back out of it and give way to Ryan Newman. There is quite a speed differential between some of the lead lap cars and some of the other cars here.
And as we get on older tires, that's going to be a huge difference. I want to make a note. We just saw Jeff Burton a second ago in the 31 car. He is now a lap down back in 27th. The problem on his last pit stop at lap 190, he was pitting outside the box and put him a lap down. So he's running with those lead lap cars, but he is a lap down. The good news, if we get a caution, he's the first car a lap down.
Yeah, I saw the NASCAR official standing in front of his car, which will really aggravate a driver. I'd never want to be the official holding Jeff a lap for that penalty.
Good run for Robbie Gordon in the 7 as you saw him complete the pass on Sam Hornish. Robbie 16th. There is Burton, 1 lap down, running behind Tony Stewart. And Robbie Gordon's pulling away from Hornish.
Got to be pretty impressed with Robbie tonight, Larry. This is as good a run as he's had in that car. I can't remember the last time he ran this well, this late into a race.
But whether he ends up running 16th or 26th or 6th, Robbie Gordon needs to run to the checkered flag without an issue.
Car's clean.
Juan Montoya had really eaten into Jimmie Johnson's lead. Then he had to get past Kurt Busch, who is 10 laps down after crash damage. Up until that point, Montoya had closed within 0.7 of a second of the leader.
I believe that Jimmie Johnson might be mirror driving.
Just maintaining
maybe
a cautious interval.
Just maybe.
Well, Jeff Hammond, we've got 2 pit stops to go. What can you do to get these cars better?
Well, Mike, what we're hoping for is some of the things that Daryl and Mike you guys have been talking about all night long. Number one has to be adjusting the brakes. Daryl was talking about you can dial some of the front brake in these cars to try to make them feel a little bit better on the entry of the corner. That's something that the driver can do from inside the cockpit. Now, for the teams, you're running out of time. You talked about the extra laps here at Phoenix tonight, but those laps are winding down. So if you're going to make adjustments with spring rubbers, whether they're going in or they're coming out, you've got to get it done, preferably on this next time in, and hopefully it won't be a green flag stop. So you get maybe a track bar adjustment, or you jump back up here, crank a little bit more wedge into her, whatever you need to make this car finally get the grip that the driver's desiring, whether it's getting in or whether it's getting off. A lot of times it's the fact that the laps are running out. It's a crucial thing. The guys can get it right, but they're running out of time to get it that way.
Of course, in a perfect world, you want to make an adjustment that's going to do the least to slow your pit stop down.
And you know the number one question right now down there in the pits, what's Chad going to do?
Meaning Chad Canals.
Chad Canals. Wonder what Chad's going to do.
He's the crew chief on that car, the Lowe's Chevrolet that leads this race. Lowe's just announced that they are going to be the sponsor of the fall race here at Phoenix. And Jimmie Johnson has opened it up on Juan Montoya to 1.5 seconds. 121 laps. That means 2 more pit stops in the Subway Fresh Fit 600 on Fox. $118 laps to go in Phoenix. We're under caution for David Rudiman. Watch what happens to David as he goes off into turn number 3.
I mean, it just looks like almost like he had no brakes, but I'm not sure what happened to that car, but it just took off getting in that corner. Maybe had too much rear brake.
The tires were up. He did not have a flat. So pit road opened. Jimmie Johnson led them down pit road and got 4 tires, Sunoco race gas, and a slight adjustment there to the right rear.
Not a lot. Didn't really slow that stop down. And you can see the other cars are just now getting to their pit boxes because of where the 48's pitting.
Now all 3 of the cars on the screen get the same adjustment with the wrench in the back window.
48 has already gone and headed down pit road.
It's a long pit road here in Phoenix. Little traffic jam there with Harvick and Kenseth and Joey Logano.
But now the real winner on that pit stop right there was the 33 car, that Shane Wilson group with Clint Boyer. Their pit stop was 1.5 seconds faster than the 42 car's pit stop.
Yeah, anytime you see something in the high 14s, 15s like you saw on those other 2 cars, that's not a very good stop.
So Boyer gains 1 spot. Martin Truex picks up 3 in the race off pit road. Regan Smith gets the free pass. So we'll have 26 lead lap cars when we go back to green.
And the boys on the 1 just keep working. Now they've got damage on the left front that they're having to go to work on. And they had worked and clawed their way almost to the top 10, but with about 26 cars on the lead lap, they're going to be way back.
When I look at the Rudiman wreck, you know, we were talking about rear brake, put a little more rear brake in the car to make it turn better getting in the corner. That looks like he may have, to me, overdone it with the rear brake, and that's what got him in trouble getting in that corner.
So look at David waiting for repair to be completed. They'll try to piece that right rear quarterback together with the new sport.